Deep in the heart of the American wilderness lies Black Hollow Creek, a place shrouded in mystery and fear. The dense forest surrounding the creek is often enveloped in a thick, almost supernatural fog that seems to swallow the light and sound, creating an eerie silence that unsettles even the bravest of souls. This place is whispered to be cursed, a dark spot on the map that locals avoid at all costs. The stories passed down through generations speak of a malevolent entity that haunts these woods, a sinister presence that has been given the name Shade Mother. The Shade Mother is said to dwell deep within the forest, her presence felt but rarely seen. She is believed to lure unsuspecting souls into the woods with her haunting whispers and ghostly apparitions, leading them astray until they are hopelessly lost. Their fates remain unknown, adding to the chilling allure of the legend. Few dare to venture near the creek, especially as night falls and the forest transforms into a realm of shadows and whispers. The darkness here is palpable, almost alive, and the whispers that drift through the trees at night are enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Those who have braved the forest at night speak of a chilling presence that watches from the shadows, its eyes glowing with an eerie, otherworldly light. The legend of Black Hollow Creek is more than just a campfire story. It is a chilling reminder of the unknown dangers that lurk in the darkest corners of the world. The glowing eyes that pierce the darkness are a testament to the malevolent force that resides here, a force that seems to defy explanation. Around campfires, the tales of Black Hollow Creek are shared with a mix of fear and fascination. These stories serve as a warning to those who might be tempted to explore the forbidden forest, a reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. Black Hollow Creek is a place where darkness reigns and evil lingers, a haunting testament to the power of the unknown. It stands as a stark reminder that there are still places in this world where the light of day cannot penetrate and where the shadows hold secrets that are best left undiscovered. Sarah, a budding photographer, convinced her friends to camp near Black Hollow Creek. She had always been fascinated by the stories of the place, tales of mysterious happenings and unexplained phenomena that had been passed down through generations. Her friends, though skeptical, were intrigued by her enthusiasm and decided to join her on this adventure. She was drawn to the legend, eager to capture its essence through her lens. The forest, with its towering trees and dense underbrush, seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. Sarah felt a connection to the place, as if it was calling out to her, urging her to uncover its mysteries. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, they set up camp. As dusk painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, the air was filled with the sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves, and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. It was a perfect setting for an adventure, and the group felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. Laughter echoed through the woods as they shared stories and jokes, their voices blending with the crackling of the campfire. The warmth of the fire and the camaraderie of friends made the night feel magical. They talked about their lives, their dreams and their fears, bonding over the shared experience. Oblivious to the danger lurking nearby, they continued to enjoy the night. The forest, however, had its own plans. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and the once comforting sounds of nature took on a more sinister tone. But the group, lost in their merriment, paid no heed to these subtle warnings.
As the fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on their faces, I felt a thrill of excitement. The night was alive with possibilities, and the sense of adventure was palpable. We were on the brink of discovering something extraordinary, something that would change our lives forever. I felt a thrill of excitement. The anticipation was almost too much to bear, and I could see the same feeling reflected in the faces of my friends. We were united in our quest, driven by a shared desire to uncover the truth behind the legends. This was my chance to document something truly extraordinary. I carefully prepared my camera, adjusting the settings to capture the perfect shot. The forest, with its eerie beauty, was a photographer's dream, and I was determined to make the most of this opportunity.
The air grew cooler, sending a shiver down our spines. The once warm and inviting atmosphere of the campfire was now contrasted by the chilling breeze that swept through the trees. It was as if the forest itself was warning us of the impending danger. And a thick fog began to roll in, enveloping the forest in a dense, impenetrable mist. Visibility dropped, and the familiar surroundings took on an otherworldly quality. The fog seemed to muffle the sounds of the forest, creating an eerie silence that was both unsettling and mesmerizing, blanketing the forest in an eerie silence. The once lively and vibrant woods were now shrouded in mystery, and the sense of foreboding grew stronger with each passing moment. We knew that we were not alone, that something was watching us from the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The once welcoming woods now felt oppressive, the darkness pressing in on them. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves.
A shiver ran down my spine as I noticed the change in my friends. Their laughter died down, replaced by a nervous tension.
Whispers seemed to emanate from the surrounding woods, faint rustling sounds that couldn't quite be placed. They tried to ignore the growing unease, but the forest seemed to be closing in on them, its presence suffocating. Panic surged through the group when they realized one of their friends, Emily, was missing. They called out her name, their voices swallowed by the dense foliage. A blood-curdling scream pierced the night, followed by an unnatural silence that was more terrifying than any shriek.
Stumbling through the undergrowth, we found Emily standing by the creek, her back to us. As we called out to her, she slowly turned, her face now a grotesque mockery of its former self.
Her eyes glowed with an eerie white light. A chilling grin stretched across her lips.
And that's when they knew the legend of Black Hollow Creek was all too real. Terror lent them speed they didn't know they possessed. Their hearts pounded in their chests, each beat a reminder of the danger lurking just behind them. The forest, usually a place of solace and peace, had transformed into a nightmarish labyrinth. Every shadow seemed to move, every rustle of leaves a potential threat. They had no choice but to keep running, driven by an instinctual need to survive.
We have to keep going. Don't look back. If we stop, even for a moment, it will catch up to us. We can't afford to lose our focus now. Every step we take is a step closer to safety, but also a step deeper into the unknown. The darkness around us is suffocating, but we must push through. We have to believe that there's an end to this nightmare, that we can find a way out.
They ran blindly through the trees, branches whipping at their faces, their breath catching in their throats. The forest seemed to conspire against them, its dense undergrowth and low-hanging branches creating a maze of obstacles. Each misstep could mean the difference between life and death. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, but also with the acrid tang of fear. Their muscles burned with the effort, but they couldn't afford to slow down.
She's right behind us. We can't stop. I can feel her presence like a cold hand on the back of my neck. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see her shadow growing larger, closer. We have to keep moving, no matter how tired we are. Our lives depend on it. The fear is like a second wind, pushing us beyond our limits.
The forest floor seemed to shift beneath their feet, tripping them, slowing them down. Roots and rocks appeared out of nowhere, as if the forest itself was trying to capture them. Each stumble was a reminder of their vulnerability, a moment of panic as they fought to regain their balance. The ground was uneven, treacherous, and every step was a gamble, but they couldn't stop. Stopping meant certain doom.
Watch out! The ground? It's like it's alive. It's trying to trip us up, to slow us down. We have to be careful, but we can't afford to be too cautious. We have to find a balance, to keep moving forward without falling. It's like the forest is alive, and it's working against us. But we can't let it win. We have to stay strong, to keep our wits about us.
The transformed Emily, now a horrifying spectre, gave chase. Her once familiar features were twisted into a grotesque mask of rage and hunger. She moved with an unnatural speed, her movements jerky and disjointed. The sight of her was enough to send a fresh wave of terror through the group. They had known Emily, had trusted her, and now she was the embodiment of their worst nightmares. They couldn't let her catch them. They had to find a way to escape.
I can hear her, that awful laughter. It's getting closer. It's like she's toying with us, enjoying our fear. Every time I hear it, it sends chills down my spine. We have to keep moving to stay ahead of her. We can't let her catch us. That laughter, it's a reminder of what we've lost, of what she's become. We have to stay strong to keep fighting.
They could hear her guttural laughter echoing through the trees, her footsteps heavy and unnatural. It was a sound that seemed to come from all directions, disorienting them, making it hard to tell where she was. The forest amplified the sound, turning it into a cacophony of terror. Each step they took was accompanied by the sound of her pursuit, a constant reminder that she was right behind them. They had to keep moving, to find a way out of this nightmare.
Please, we have to make it out of here. We can't let her catch us. We have to find a way out of this forest to escape her. Our lives depend on it. We have to stay strong, to keep moving. We can't give up now. We're so close. We have to believe that we can make it, that there's a way out. We have to keep fighting, to keep running.
The forest itself seemed to be aiding their pursuer, the trees bending and swaying in an unnatural dance. It was as if the forest was alive, working against them, trying to trap them. The wind howled through the trees, adding to the sense of chaos and confusion. The branches reached out like skeletal hands, trying to grab them, to hold them back, but they couldn't let the forest win. They had to keep moving to find a way out. Their lives depended on it.
Her camera clutched tightly in her hand. She tripped and fell, her ankle twisting beneath her. As her friends disappeared into the darkness, she knew she couldn't outrun whatever was hunting them. Taking a shaky breath, she raised her camera, her finger hovering over the shutter button.
Through the lens, she saw her, the Shade Mother. The entity was a swirling mass of darkness, its form constantly shifting. Its eyes, 2 points of malevolent white light, bored into her soul. The flash of the camera momentarily illuminated the clearing, revealing the horrifying truth. A cold dread washed over Sarah as she realized escape was impossible. The Shade Mother was upon her, its laughter a cacophony of whispers and screams.
She felt an icy grip on her arm, pulling her into the darkness. Her screams were swallowed by the forest, her struggles futile against the entity's unnatural strength. The last thing she saw was the malevolent gleam of the Shade Mother's eyes, reflecting the terror that consumed her. Then only silence remained.
Weeks later, hikers stumbled upon Sarah's abandoned campsite. They found her camera, its casing cracked and weathered.
Curiosity getting the better of them, they developed the film, only to gasp in horror at the final image. There, staring back at them, was the Shade Mother, its form no longer an indistinct blur, but a horrifying visage of malice and hunger. The image was a chilling testament to the fate that befell Sarah and her friends.
The legend of Black Hollow Creek lives on, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows. The fate of Sarah and her friends serves as a warning to those who dare to venture into the cursed woods. Some whisper that if you listen closely, you can still hear Sarah's final scream echoing through the trees. A chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, for the Shade Mother is always watching, waiting for her next victims.